Hello and welcome back to the Kpop Convenience Store. My name is Janice and this is episode 4 where we're going to be talking about all of my Kpop flexes. What do I mean by Kpop flexes? I'm talking everything good that has happened to me in Kpop. I'm not even gonna lie, I've taken a lot of L's. There's so many L's. In the next few episodes, I will be telling you one of the worst L's I ever took as a K-pop stan. But amongst all those L's, I also have a lot of wins. And I mean, I've been a K-pop fan for, at this point, I'm a fossil in K-pop. I started liking K-pop when I was 15 years old. I'm 24 years old now. And by the way, in the last episode, I said I was 25. I don't know where that came from. I'm a few months away from being 25. I am currently still 24. Let me do the math real quick. There's no way it's been a decade. There's no way it's been 10 years. So I guess it's been 10 years since I started liking K-pop. And within that time, I have had a lot of nice things happen to me. I really chalk it up to like my delusion. Oh my god, I completely forgot the K-pop opinion of the week. I'm gonna edit this part of the pod to be the intro. Just know though that this was happening after I yapped for like 45 minutes. Oh, I know. I don't consider Cat's Eye a K-pop group. There's a lot of people that make an argument about it being like, okay, but they're promoting in Korea, they're promoting using the K-pop like system, okay, I still don't think they're a K-pop group. I 100% recognize them as a Western group, as a Western music industry group that uses the K-pop style in their music, in their styling. They're not a K-pop group. I just don't see them as a K-pop group. The same thing with XG. Like, XG also works under the K-pop formula, but they sing in English and they are a Japanese group. I don't consider them a K-pop group. I consider them an international group. I consider people who are singing in Korean, promoting within Korea, and promoting in the K-pop style in Korean, that is a K-pop group. The K in K-pop means Korean. Like, at the end of the day, does it really matter the classification? These groups still exist in the genres and in the spaces that they exist in. But I've seen a lot of people fighting online being like, it's crazy that K-pop groups have gotten to this point. You're being scandalized for no reason. It was just a comment that was like, Cat's Eye's wardrobe is just like so scandalous and provocative for K-pop. They're not a K-pop group. I don't know what to tell you, girl. If you want to be scandalized, go ahead and be scandalized, but don't be saying that it's so scandalous for K-pop. This is just my opinion. That's the reason it's called K-pop Opinion of the Week. I guess the way I can start this episode is by talking about my very first win. There was a period of time, specifically during the pandemic, where my wins were just back to back to back. And I'm not even gonna lie, I haven't had a section of time like that happen ever again. And it could just be like the delusion in my brain and just my constant need to believe I have lucky girl syndrome, because I do. I have lucky girl syndrome. I feel like another good era of K-pop wins is coming my way. You know, I'm not gonna jinx it, knock on wood. It's feeling very much like we need good things in 2025. And I feel like in the next few months, some good things are coming. And if they're not, I'm putting it out in the universe that good things are coming for all of us. All of us are going to have W's, not just in K-pop, in life in general. So hopefully by recounting some of the good things that have happened to me in K-pop, we can put out the same energy. I'm going to talk about my first W in K-pop, and that happened around 2017, I think. I was a high school student when I became a K-pop fan. I was 15 years old. That means I had no money. I had no money for albums, PCs, nothing. This collection that you see behind me, for those of you who are just listening, there's a bookcase full of things that I don't need. There's so many things in here. There's albums, there's light sticks, there's figurines, All of that is a result of employment. I was never the reality of 15-year-old Janice. That is all simply consumerism once she started getting paid. So because I didn't have any funds to buy albums, I didn't get my first BTS album until I was 17/18. And I also want to point out that it wasn't easy to get K-pop albums back in my day. Usually now, like, you'll hear people getting their first K-pop album at Target, at Barnes & Noble. That wasn't a thing. That wasn't a reality. It was because the demand for K-pop got bigger that we started to see albums pop up in retail stores. But back in the day, it was few and far between the people that liked K-pop. And even when I joined the fandom, it was miles better than what people in like second gen, first gen were going through. There was a lot of online stores that shipped K-pop albums to the US. You know, it was marked up a little bit, but the album prices were fair. Better than you trying to buy a K-pop album and have it shipped to you individually from Korea. So one of these stores called Choice Music, which is a K-pop store that I have followed since I was 15. They were always hosting giveaways. One of their reoccurring giveaways was, I think it was like, if you make us laugh with like a meme or something, like we will, or like a reply, like if you have a funny reply to this tweet, like we will make sure to give you an album, something like that. They like tweeted out a picture of like an abandoned area, and then I zoomed in on a piece of that picture and said something funny about like a corner of the picture, and then they were like, congratulations, you got an album. They DM'd me and they were like, what album do you want? What's your shipping information? Yada, yada, yada. I was like, what is the album? This is peak K-pop, like 2016, 2017, 2018. Campy K-pop. There was so much material to work with. How could I possibly choose? I ended up going with Young Forever from BTS because that is my favorite album by them. I had the day version, and that was the very first album that I ever got, and I won that through a giveaway. I also later got the night version as a birthday present, so those two albums have always just been like, I feel like they're my good luck charms. That album is where all the good things started happening to me in K-pop. I don't know if I should include like W's with ticketing because I haven't ever gotten like barricade or anything like that. Well, that's a lie. I'm gonna do a quick ticketing section just because there has been like wins in that department. Well, I would say my first win was definitely getting to go to the BTS Love Yourself tour where they were in the Staples Center. I think that was the most intimate that BTS was ever gonna get in terms of like such a small venue for BTS as a group. And the Staples Center is not even that small. Their career just blew up from there. Lucky again because I got to go with my friends to Speak Yourself, and that was at the Rose Bowl. Say my next ticketing win would be getting to see 17 for free at LA3C. So LA3C was trying to reach out to college campuses and student organizations to try to spread the word that it was a new festival and that they wanted college crowds to come and be a part of their festival. So it was like an advertisement kind of thing where they offered my organization a free ticket. And then we went early, so we got barricade for 17. And I'm not talking like front row barricade, I'm talking like side barricade. My next W was when I went to Stray Kids this last tour, the Maniac tour. I got to go to Encore where we got day 1 tickets and day 2 tickets. And day 2 tickets were on the floor. This was my very first time on floor, and I've never been on floor ever since. I got a section all the way in the back. I thought that would be good, but then I saw our tickets on day 1, like where we would be sitting, and I was ready to crash out because I didn't pay the money that I paid to get an obstructed view all the way in the back. So I'm going to just buy some tickets that are closer. So I bought tickets that were closer. It was only maybe like $100 more than what I had originally paid. And then I sold our original tickets. So day 2, I was even closer than what I had originally planned. I was very delusional. I was convinced that Changbin was looking at us the whole time. I was having my YN moments. Really, really worth my money. I'm not even gonna lie, because I still remember just looking at Changbin's face, looking at Hyunjin's face. Like, I still remember their faces so vividly and so clear. Right now that I said I still remember their faces so vividly, so clear, I can't believe I am forgetting my biggest win. Oh my gosh. Well, I really was going to just not talk about ticketing at all when my biggest win happened. Maybe I don't remember it because there was also a lot of L's. So many L's that were surrounded by this trip. Coming out of pandemic, BTS goes on tour, Permission to Dance tour. We did not get tickets as Mott's ticket holders. We did not get tickets in the stadium. Already big L. We got the YouTube theater. What is that? Anyway, I got a like $300 photo card out of it, but I didn't pay $300. I paid $60 for my ticket, and I got a photo card that is now worth $300. I was just so unsatisfied with being such a dedicated BTS fan, having Mott's tickets, and then coming out of pandemic and having to see them in the YouTube theater. Like, I was not happy with the experience. Really trying to gaslight myself into believing that it was okay when it wasn't. And then one of my friends had a ticket for Las Vegas. So I talked to my parents. I was like, hey, would you guys want to go to a quick trip to Nevada? And we did. We went and we stayed there for 2 days, and it was crazy. There were so many L's, but it all led up to, you remember the carts, right? You remember the carts from Las Vegas? Guess where I was sitting? I was sitting the first row. I saw BTS in my face, guys. Like, I'm gonna show you how far apart we were. This might be an exaggeration from my memory, but it felt like we were this much apart. This is me, okay? This is where the carts are, where BTS is. We came out in the live stream. I saw their faces. I really will never forget their faces, because my goodness, the cameras do not do them justice. The cameras don't do them justice. And their skin, the skin was skinning. Like, it was no blemish in sight. I need the skincare routine and the makeup routine. Like, I'm like sweating thinking about it. It was probably one of the best. Seeing Jimin that close? No. In the video that I have, but I am not making a single sound. I was just like, oh wow, that's really how I would react. Like, that's how I would react if I ever saw a K-pop idol in person. Like, I go silent. I'm going silent, and I'm not doing anything. My body shut down when I saw them coming that close. And still to this day, I think that is one of the best concert experiences that I've ever had. Because the seats were so close, I was trying to really be present in that moment, and because I truly don't believe I will ever be that close to BTS ever again. Like, their fame is so astronomical that I don't think I'll ever get the chance to be that close to them ever again in history. I hope I'm wrong, but the odds of that happening are very, very thin. And I was just trying to take in the moment, and I truly I remember that concert the most out of all the concerts I think I've ever gone to. And I will never forget looking at their faces and just being shocked, in awe, no sound coming out of me. Moving away from the ticket wins, let's talk about my era of really good luck. And this came in the form of the pandemic simply because KCON had gone online. This is the era that gave us more online concerts. It was already a thing before the pandemic, but this just gave us a rise in online concerts, online tickets for online concerts, online fan calls, more interactions with idols online. It really changed K-pop forever. KCON had gone online, and I was a huge fan of TXT, 17, and BTS at this time. Not Stray Kids yet. You will hear about that in a second. First KCON, TXT is there. So I buy my membership trying to get fan casted in their audience. And so what being fan casted in their audience meant was basically you were going to be in a Zoom call with TXT, but through KCON. This didn't necessarily mean that any of the artists were going to see you, but there was basically like, while they were doing their interviews, there was a wall of Zoom boxes and they were looking at everybody. So the chances that I got seen by some of my favorite K-pop idols could have been like 0.5 seconds. I'm going to take that. And I'm going to believe that every single one of them saw me. Okay, so for TXT, I unfortunately didn't get any of the fan audience things, but I did win a giveaway, which was a Mamamoo shirt, and I also got, what else did I get that year? I don't know, but I just got a Mamamoo shirt because I had posted like a challenge that KCON had done. I think the following KCON, if not the same year, was IZ*ONE. And I was a fan of IZ*ONE, so I made a like drawing of IZ*ONE and submitted it for them to play during one of their slow songs, and my artwork came out behind IZ*ONE while they were performing, and I think that's so cool because I got to support one of my favorite groups in that way. Eventually, Luna played KCON. I got picked for both their Q&A meet and greet audience as well as their performance audience. So I participated in a sing-along with them and it played while they were singing. So the meet and greet Q&A thing, it wasn't an actual meet and greet where you got to like meet the artist. It was just called a meet and greet Q&A because you, as the viewer of KCON, were meeting the artists, and the Q&A was just like a host that was answering and asking them questions. But Luna's was so special because during the live stream for KCON, there were times where they were taking breaks, so they would run like commercials, and during those commercial breaks we would also get played those commercials. That was when the moderator would come on and be like, okay, like you can turn off your cameras or you can like take a break because we're not live and your box doesn't need to be shown in this moment. And so that was usually when you would see people like okay, go to the bathroom, like take a break, because I don't know what it was like for other people, but I had to wake up like at 3 a.m. to be on Korean time to do KCON live. And during one of those breaks, we got the commercials, but like it immediately cut off, and one of the moderators was like, hey KCONers, like we have a surprise for you guys. And I was just like, what's about to happen? I didn't have my phone, which I was so mad because I can only tell you this story and I hope that you just believe me. But Luna showed up in our live stream and they were saying hi to us through the Zoom call. So we were literally like on Zoom with Luna. We didn't have any audio, but everyone was so excited. Like everyone did not expect it. We were saying hi to them like very violently. They said hi to us for maybe like not even 2 minutes because they were saying hi, and then they were like in Korean and English being like, thank you so much for supporting us, and like thank you for being on the live stream, we're gonna have so much fun in the next meet and greet, and like please cheer us on while we're singing and everything like that. I was just losing my mind, and I remember everybody was like taking screenshots and everything. I have a screenshot of it happening, but I'm not in it. And so I was on a Zoom call with Luna, and like that was the only time that the meet and greet aspect of the artist actually happened. I think originally that was the intention of the meet and greet thing, but it was more of like they were at the discretion of the schedule during KCON LA, and maybe Luna just had an opportunity to do it, and we were lucky enough to be there while Luna did it. At this time, KCON also tried to launch a influencer collective, I guess is what you could describe it as. It was called Insada. I signed up. I worked with them for maybe 2 KCON seasons online, and during that time I received like a PR box for skincare and for BT21. I still use that skincare to this day. Dahyun is actually their ambassador now. It was like Apiu and also if I remember the brands, I will link them because they were actually really good products. Unfortunately, they did disband the whole entire thing, which I'm hoping like at some point they bring it back. It's been like 4 or 3 years since they had that. I miss Insada every single day because I really liked participating in all their campaigns and I got lots of love for them. And then probably the best thing that has ever happened to me happened during Stray Kids' second year going on KCON Online. I actually did become a Stray Kids fan that summer that they first played KCON Online. They were performing within TXT's lineup. I wasn't a fan, but because TXT, since I had bought the membership to watch TXT, I was also watching Stray Kids. And the second time around that they came, I 100% was on top of being in their audience thing. I got their audience Q&A and meet and greet. I got their audience for their performance. And I also participated in a challenge in which they had people sending letters, handwritten letters. I made a handwritten letter for Stray Kids. A handwritten letter for Stray Kids, you had to send it in and you wouldn't find out if your letter got delivered to them until the end, when the day of the show, when they were reading their letter. So I was watching and I had been on their Q&A and my letter got chosen. So my letter got chosen. So I had written about how I had only been a fan for a year, but I was really proud of them and that I was really appreciative of their talent, their time, and their effort, and I just loved them so much. And I drew a bunch of their skizus, and I also drew like them in their view, like their pink and white view stage outfits. And I sent it in just like with the hope, and they read it live on camera.
응원해주시는 스테이가 케이콘으로 팬레터를 보내주셨다는 소식인데요. 우리 필릭스 형이 한번 읽어주실
오케이.
수 있을까요?
오! 감사합니다.
팬레터와?
와우.
멀리서 저렇게 보내주시고
예쁘게 꾸며주셨어. 오, 그림도
되게
읽을게요.
길게 쓰셨다.
I've been in stay for a year, but I already have seen you accomplish so much. Your performance, hard work, and talent make me proud to be a stay. Let's keep growing together. Stray Kids 할 수 있어. Your stay, Janice.
Thank you,
Thank you
Janice.
so
이렇게
much.
팬레터까지 이렇게 읽으니까
저희를 사랑한다고 해주셨네요.
아주.
한 명씩 다 그려줬어요.
저희를 또 그려주신 거예요?
네, 이거 다 만드신 거예요. 우와. 와우. 뭐야? 되게 대단한 것 같아요, 진짜.
I made you some stickers.
카메라 한번. 스티커까지 만들어 주셨대요. 와우.
귀엽다.
여기 뒤에 이름 하나 주세요. 리노, MC 브리노마스 화이팅. 여기 뒤에 이렇게 다 예쁘게 이렇게 꾸며주셨네.
네, 좋아요.
너무 고맙다.
진짜 고마워요.
귀여워.
Thank you so much.
감사합니다. 이렇게 팬레터 읽으니까 오늘 무대 힘내서 할 수 있을 것 같은데.
맞아요.
네.
And Felix read it, and I signed it Janice, like your stay, Janice. And Felix said my name. Hyunjin said my name. My bias. Hyunjin said my name. That's why in my Instagram bio, the thank you Janice in quotation marks, Hyunjin actually said that. And I think about that every single day. Anytime that I feel bad about myself or things aren't going my way, I just think, you know what? For like 3 seconds, Hyunjin or other 4 members of Stray Kids knew who Janice was. I say 4 members because Han had gotten sick that day. Chan was preparing very last minute to replace Han for their special like zombie stage with Sungmin. So Sungmin and Chan were practicing for their live of zombie and Han was sick. So Lino, Changbin, Ayan, Felix, and Hyunjin were the ones that received my letter, and they every day I think about that. It's probably one of my most successful moments as a fan of anybody. I watch that video whenever I'm sad. I just think about a time when Hyunjin said my name, Felix said my name. A time when Lino said that my drawing was so cute. Oh, it's just not real. It doesn't happen. What? It's a lot. From there, I'd say another W after that and was being a part of their live show. Oh, I'm 100% sure that they saw me eventually in that time. Obviously, they didn't know who I was. They didn't know that they had just received a letter from me, but I'm sure that they saw my face. Actually, that year that I gave them the letter, I hadn't been accepted in their live audience. It wasn't until the third time that they came back to KCON Online that I got chosen for their meet and greet and for their audience. Oh, and then the first time Stray Kids, oh my gosh, this is so funny. The first time, I'm just like forget everything, huh? On top of them reading my letter, which is such a win in itself, I also received a signed Go Live album. All of the members. This was during Hyunjin's hiatus. I literally bursted into tears when I first saw it because I was going through it with Hyunjin's hiatus. I recognized Hyunjin's signature right away, and all 8 members signed an album, and I got it. Like, it just, I could not believe my luck within this era of time. Like, I was a new Stray Kids fan. And like all of this was happening to me truly solidified me as a stay. I think that's why I like want to give back so much to like stays and like Stray Kids in general, because I truly have experienced some of the best moments in K-pop with Stray Kids. Like, my fan account is mainly Stray Kids. I have been recognized as a content creator who makes content primarily around Stray Kids. I have loved Stray Kids so much, and so there's just so many things that add up to it being some of my best experiences in K-pop. And that's what started it all. I did a letter, they read my letter, they said my name, then I get a signed album, an 8-member signed album. What? And then I get to also be on their live audience. I get to be in a Zoom call with Stray Kids. It just doesn't make sense in my head. It doesn't make sense. And I'm just so lucky. Like, the lucky girl syndrome, it lives in me, and I want it to continue to live in me. And I hope that everybody is as delusional as that. Like, I want you to believe that you're a lucky girl so that these things can also happen to you. It's insane. That era of time in KCON, that was probably those were my biggest wins. What's crazier than being acknowledged, even for a second, by your favorite idols? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, and I never thought that was ever going to happen to me. And I'm so grateful every single day that it did. That KCON gave the opportunity for that to happen. And I'm so absolutely grateful that Stray Kids received my letter so nicely, and that they appreciated it. 'Cause, girl, like, I spent 3 days on it, and like that, I still didn't feel like it was enough to express how much I appreciate and love them as a group and as artists. But they were so kind, and they received it so nicely. They took it with them as well. For all I know, it could be in the trash somewhere, and I'm totally okay with that. I don't believe that they still have that. It was just an amazing thing that happened, and I can't believe that it did happen. And I think about it almost every single day, because nothing like that has ever happened to me ever again. And again, I love that Stray Kids has so many fans now. I caught them, I think, in the moment where they were transitioning into the biggest artists that they are now. And I just was lucky enough to become a fan during that time when not a lot of people were paying attention. Like, they had a lot of fans, but I know that if there was like an opportunity like that where it was like, send your letter in to Stray Kids, I don't think my letter would have gotten to them. Like, if we're talking about if that was like a modern day situation now, I don't think my letter would have ever gotten to them. There's so many other like messages that probably could have gotten to them. I think it was really literally right place, right time situation, and I'm grateful every single day that it happened. From there, I think like I've won a couple of giveaways here and there. I'm 100% a believer in paying it forward. So I've also hosted giveaways. I'm also doing so much for the Stray Kids concert, giving away freebies, giving away albums, and just giving away merch. And oh my gosh, it's going to be so much fun. And I'm so incredibly grateful that these things have happened to me, and that I hope they continue to happen to me, and that I continue to just gravitate towards that energy of just being a lucky girl. I think it's really a state of mind. You know, you got to believe and you got to imagine yourself getting the things that you want. Down the line, if I have children and they ask me what I was doing in my youth, I'm not going to give them club stories. I'm not going to give them night on the town stories. I'm going to give them the story of the time where I spent 3 days making stickers, hand drawing pictures of Skizu characters and Stray Kids in their View costumes, and writing a heartfelt letter to Stray Kids just for 5 seconds of their attention and time. I will be telling people that Hwang Hyunjin said my name live for people to hear all around the world. That was just a quick episode to talk about some of the wins that I have had. Now let's do the song recommendations of the week. I'm going to recommend I Love You by 21. I'm going to recommend Toy by Block B. And I'm going to recommend 200% by Akmu. Wow. I hit you with some B-sides from really old groups. I hope you like it. That's some third gen recommendations right there. I hope you have a good day. I hope that you continue to be cool and listening to this podcast. I'm on Spotify now. This is on Spotify if you want to watch it there. And if you are on Spotify right now and you're listening to this, hi. This is a new thing for this podcast. I hope you like it here too. If you want to yap about K-pop and all things K-pop, go ahead and send me a message on all of my social medias at Janice Bananas. And I will see you next time. Bye!